The busy vacation travel season is just around the corner, and there's one activity more Americans are planning to do in their summer destinations, and it doesn't involve lounging by a pool. Liz McLaughlin explains.
As the summer travel season takes off, more Americans are planning to use their vacation time to give back.
Travelocity found that 1 in 4 travelers intend to volunteer while traveling this season.
A rise in what's called voluntourism, with travelers using leisure time to pick up trash, serve meals, or build shelter for those in need.
It's nice to see, we've got a big mix here from older people to the young people coming up, learning and trying to donate their time.
Now more nonprofits are partnering with tourism companies for volunteer opportunities, including Travelocity's Travel for Good program.
You can look at your destination and see what volunteer options are there. So it's as simple as a 1-hour stop.
Donating your time to benefit a good cause can also benefit your well-being.
There's obviously the feeling of accomplishment. You're learning new skill sets, you're giving back to the community.
But there are scams that take advantage of good intentions. Check out the organization on a site like Charity Watch before volunteering or donating. And it's a good idea to limit social media photos, instead keeping the focus on helping others.
That's more rewarding than any amount of likes on Instagram.
A voluntourism movement inspiring more travelers to use their downtime to build up communities in need. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Travelocity is also offering a discount for voluntourists. Use the code TRAVEL4GOOD to get $25 off a hotel stay, and Travelocity will also make a $25 donation to Red Cross Disaster Relief. Now let's go to Eli for a look at what's next.
Hey Heather, tonight a scare in the sky. It was a wild ride for window washers at the Devon Tower downtown.
It was stunning, frankly, that something like this happened.
2 workers trapped in a spinning basket. What it took to get them to safety. Plus, health alert, a possible case of measles in Oklahoma. Why one doctor says she's not surprised. And an Oklahoma man arrested during a traffic stop. His dead wife found in the passenger seat. The call to 911 that alerted police. It's all right now at 5.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5.
The men on there are holding on.
Okay, so there are people on it?
It looks like there are people on it. I think there's 3. But they have broken a window because it's swinging everywhere.
Wow, that is some amazing video that we are looking at. And of course, a terrifying moment for the 2 window washers who were in that contraption earlier today at the Devon Tower. Good evening, I'm Eli Roberts.
And I'm Heather Holman. It was an unbelievable sight this morning in downtown Oklahoma City. That window washing basket swinging out of control 50 stories high, slamming into the building as we see right there, sending that glass falling to the ground.
And tonight we now know exactly what it took to get those 2 men to safety. News 4's Lauren Daniels has the breaking news update as well as new video that was taken from inside the Devon Tower just as all of this was going down.
Much of downtown Oklahoma City was at a standstill for a little more than 30 minutes as this chaotic scene unfolded. Firefighters pulling up to the Devon Tower, realizing this was not going to be their ordinary rescue.
Swinging just wildly out of control.
Terror unfolding more than 800 feet in the air. Above the 50th story, 2 workers trapped in an out-of-control window washing basket that became unsecured, smashing into windows.
You could hear it hitting very loudly the side of the building.
Dave Hager, CEO of Devon Energy, was 3 floors below, one of many in the building at the time. A Devon employee sent us this cell phone video from inside that building.
Oh, it was stunning, frankly, that something like this happened.
Though this is by far the tallest building in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City firefighters trained for situations like this and were already prepared. Their technical rescue team going to the top of the building, throwing ropes to the workers.
And then dropped the rope back down to our firefighters, who then created basically a towing system to utilize with those ropes that were dropped to bring the basket under control.
A little more than 30 minutes after the original call, firefighters were able to get the men to safety. Firefighters say despite the chaos, these men were able to stay calm enough to play a crucial role in their own rescue.
Would like to meet these individuals because what they did was absolutely amazing, because they were on a ride that no one would want to experience, to say the least.
And just grateful for the response of the Oklahoma City Fire Department and all the first responders out here that just did an outstanding job to respond so quickly to this incident.
In downtown Oklahoma City, Lauren Daniels, Oklahoma's News 4.
Okay, so we all know Oklahoma is a very windy place, but still there is no word on exactly what caused that basket to swing out of control. It's now going to be up to Devon and the contract company managing that contraption to investigate the situation. Now, this morning's incident is still causing a lot of tie-ups downtown. Check out this map. Right now, Sheridan between Robinson and Hudson is closed. Also, Robinson between Main and Sheridan is also shut down. Officials say those streets will remain closed, possibly for several days, and they're going to stay that way until the Devon Tower is inspected and secured.
Well, now to another developing story. Right now, there are confirmed cases of the measles in 23 states, and the CDC considers it an outbreak. Now, there's also concern Oklahoma may be the 24th state. State health officials confirmed they're investigating a possible measles case here. News 4's Chase Horn joins us now. And Chase, what have you learned about this potential case here in Oklahoma?
Well, Heather, I spoke with St. Francis Health System in Tulsa today. They confirmed they are investigating a possible case of the measles. The state health department waiting on those results, but doctors here in Oklahoma City won't be surprised if they come back positive.
This year's particularly seen a lot of activity, and I think it was just a matter of time until it found a niche somewhere in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma hasn't seen a confirmed case yet, but health officials say they're looking into what could be the first. In a statement, Tulsa's St. Francis Health System says it's awaiting final results from the Department of Health after it identified a suspected case of measles. Meanwhile, a doctor at Integris Southwest Medical Center says they would be prepared if a case came through their doors.
We have some processes in place for isolation, notification of various staff, and then appropriate care of the patient.
There's no specific medication for measles. The treatment would include hydration, Tylenol, and rest, but the best defense, getting the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine.
MMR has proven to be one of the safest vaccines ever created and has saved countless lives and certainly countless miserable sick kids. So the vaccine fears were unwarranted. That has been proven time and time again.
Liza Grieve with Oklahomans for Health and Parental Rights say there are some concerns with the MMR vaccine, especially with how many diseases it's supposed to address.
It's not a single vaccine, it's triple. So you basically cannot get a single measles vaccine in the United States. So that's a big issue for some parents because some parents want to space out the vaccines.
So far, there's no exact timeline for exactly when those test results will come back. In studio, Chase Horn, Oklahoma's News 4.
And from the state capitol, the governor vetoes a bill to modernize HIV/AIDS curriculum in schools. The curriculum has been in place for 32 years. Representative Marcus McIntyre, who wrote the legislation, says the current language is based in fear, not science. Governor Stitt says state law already requires the health and education departments to update HIV/AIDS curriculum. He called on both agencies to make sure the curriculum is medically accurate.
And on Crime Watch, a convenience store clerk injured during a robbery. The holdup happened earlier this week at the Circle K near I-40 and Meridian. Police say the suspect demanded cash and smokes, then bashed the clerk in the head. Today, police released these pictures. We're going to show them to you of a man who they want to speak with about what exactly happened. If you know who he is, give police a call. An Oklahoma mom who stabbed her daughter, she'll soon learn her fate. Her name is Taria Ahmed, and she'll be in court tomorrow for her sentencing. In April, she said she's guilty to stabbing her 11-year-old daughter last year. She used a pickaxe. She also set her home on fire before running away with another child, and that led to an Amber Alert. Ahmed said she was upset with how her children were reading.
Disturbing new details have emerged surrounding the arrest of a Sand Springs man in Arizona. Rodney Puckett was pulled over on Monday in Eloy, Arizona. Police say his dead wife, Linda, was in the passenger seat. Authorities now tell us a fast food worker called police after Puckett went through the drive-thru in only his underwear with his deceased wife next to him. Police say Linda was naked and lying upside down when she was found. Puckett allegedly told police his wife died at a Texas hotel while the two were on a road trip.
He tried to wake her up, couldn't wake her up. He loaded her onto a luggage cart and proceeded to place her in his vehicle. I've been in law enforcement and with the Eloy Police Department for 17 years, and this is the most bizarre case that I have ever seen in Eloy.
Linda's cause of death is still under investigation. The medical examiner says there were signs of possible blunt force trauma. Court records show the two were divorcing and Linda had filed a protective order against her husband. For now, Puckett is only charged with concealing a body. However, police say more charges are possible.
From the Sky Center tonight, a Colorado high school student who is considered a hero. He was honored today with a memorial service. His name is Kendricks Castillo, and he was killed during last week's school shooting near Denver. Witnesses say that he jumped toward one of the gunmen, and that gave his classmates just enough time to shield themselves from a barrage of gunfire.
He died for us. Now it's time for us to live for him.
I want you to remember the incredible young man that Kendrick was and the incredible ways that he touched our lives.
What a sacrifice, and he was only a few days away from graduation. The accused gunmen are both students at that school, and they are facing charges for murder and attempted murder. Students are slowly returning to class. It's difficult. They want to finish out the school year and make that final stretch toward graduation. Now to New York, because tonight we are seeing the moment when a helicopter crashed right into the Hudson River. Check it out. An eyewitness caught this video on their phone. There it is. Didn't make the helipad, instead going straight into the Hudson River. Officials say the chopper missed that pad earlier this afternoon, going straight into the water. Both the pilot and a person working nearby suffered minor injuries. And that's a look at the news from the Sky Center. Heather, back to you.
Eli, thank you. Well, get ready for a comeback story, Oklahoma style. Galen Culver met a business owner who hasn't let 1, 2, or even 6 tornadoes keep him down.
We were hit by the 2004 tornado.
Taking a drive with someone like Larry Benson is like touring the tornado history of the Oklahoma City Metro. I'm Galen Culver on The Next Great State, a man whose business has been hit 6 different times by the storms of spring. Can tornadoes follow you?
It is unusual.
His opinion next on Oklahoma's News 4.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5 with Heather Holman, Eli Roberts, Mike Morgan, and Brian Brinkley. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you. Is this a great state or what? Is sponsored by MeQ.
Welcome back. If you've been through a tornado, then you probably pay extra close attention to the weather.
Yeah, but what if you've been through 6? 1 is bad enough. Tonight, Galen Culver has the story of an Oklahoma City business with a unique and unfortunate claim to fame.
A windowless, soundproof room is where Larry Benson makes his living. As founder and owner of Benson Sound, he's more than 52 years into recording music, writing arrangements, and one more unlikely task, monitoring the weather.
We do watch the weather. Yes, there was a 2004.
Taking a drive with Larry is like touring the twister history of the Oklahoma City Metro.
I built it in 1969.
Our first stop is at his original business near Capitol Hill, where a storm lifted the roof off his building in 1990.
So the storm took the roof off of this place? Yes, it was in the parking lot.
Moved from there over to this location off Interstate 240, where he set up his business, only to see it damaged. On May 3rd, 1999, hit again in 2004, 2009, 2011, 12, and 2013.
3 tornadoes within about 2 years.
Before he got the message and moved a little further east to his present location.
And I think God was telling me that it was time for us to move from there. We just must be at some lucky spot right here.
We actually shot a story with Larry back in 2012 about getting hit 5 times.
And now I know that it can happen again and again.
The damage on display, the roof in the parking lot, no loss of life, but plenty to tell the insurance adjusters.
And I really thought that I had paid my dues once I got hit the first time.
He's 5 years out from the last storm and still going.
But you can't stay here.
He can still hear the irony of a song like You Can't Stay Here. But Benson Sound is more like that freight train everybody describes when they hear a tornado. It's still loud and roaring right along. In Oklahoma City, Galen Culver, News 4. Is this a great state or what?
Now, there were no storms, but there was a fire in the strip mall last year where Benson Sound is now located. And Larry says Luckily, there was only a little smoke damage, but this weekend there is a chance of severe weather.
That's right. We all need to keep an eye to the sky. Mike's going to have our forecast, including several possible chances of severe weather coming up.
Now, forewarned weather with Mike Morgan.
Well, if you like windy, warm, and more humid weather, you're in great shape today. Temperatures well up in the mid-80s, even 90 in Stillwater. Let's take a look outside here on this Wednesday. We have sunshine, nice view of the Belle Isle Bridge right there, lots of blue skies. Everything's nice and green. And our temperature right now here at KFOR in the middle 80s, 84 degrees. South winds at 13 miles an hour. Temperatures are in the middle to upper 80s. Guthrie's 88 right now, 86 in El Reno and Okarche, and 90 in Stillwater, and also upper 80s to near 90 in northwestern Oklahoma as well. So it's a windy, warm afternoon, really nice weather. Have a few showers in our panhandle, nothing major there, and it will stay dry for your Wednesday evening plans. Now, out to the west, this energized Pacific jet stream weather pattern here. This is something to take note of because the jet stream winds are about to get much stronger. We're talking about some really high velocity winds in that river of air. And not only that, the storm track is going to shift now and come right across Oklahoma. So it's something that we have to pay attention to as Oklahomans, especially in the early, middle, or latter part of the month of May. So that's the bottom line with this. Couple of systems out here, one approaching California right now. That is going to be late Friday night into Saturday, and the one behind that is going to be Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now keep in mind, again, these travel directly across Oklahoma with very high velocity jet stream wind currents and pretty unstable weather at the surface, heat and humidity. So flooding, rainfall, along with severe weather is going to be on the upswing as we head through these next two events. We're carefully tracking this for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at Friday. So by late Friday afternoon, mostly cloudy, very windy in Oklahoma, but also mostly dry. There may be a few very light showers, but dry line way out from Amarillo to Lubbock Friday afternoon. That may or may not fire in the eastern Texas panhandle. If it does, we might get a couple of storms in far western Oklahoma Friday evening. I think the metro Friday evening, Friday, we stay basically dry. Different story, though, Friday night. Thunderstorms severe, erupt, and then track toward Oklahoma Friday night into Saturday morning. This could mean showers and thunderstorms for your soccer and t-ball matches on Saturday morning. There's your clock at noon Saturday, this big wave of heavy and severe weather with the first storm coming across Oklahoma. That pushes into eastern Oklahoma on Saturday afternoon. Then another round of storms fires in western Oklahoma just ahead of a low pressure area and a punching dry line into southwest Oklahoma. A lot of lift and turning to the atmosphere, so severe weather is possible, if not likely with that as well. Then that moves on by. Sunday's going to be beautiful. Then we reset out to the west Monday, and that tracks towards central Oklahoma late Monday into Monday night. Another wave comes in Tuesday. Flooding, rainfalls possible in addition to that severe weather threat, and then those are both gone by Wednesday of next week. So that's the lowdown through the next 5 to 7 days. 72 at 10 o'clock, 62 for our low temperature tonight. Breezy southerly winds, mostly low 60s for lows across our state tonight, and we will be dry and a nice windy, warm, and mostly sunny 85 for tomorrow. South winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour and middle to upper 80s, even a few low 90s for highs tomorrow. Woodward 92. And here's Friday, a bit more cloud cover, partly to mostly cloudy, very windy, but also mostly dry. A low probability of storms in far western Oklahoma very late near sunset on Friday. There's the risk, slight risk, enhanced risk, late Friday into Friday evening. And then Friday night, thunderstorms do push into the Oklahoma City metro area. Some of those could be severe Friday night into Saturday morning, and an enhanced risk across a large part of the state on Saturday as more waves of thunderstorms do form. So we'll track all this very, very carefully for you as we head through the next several days. Scattered storms on Saturday and 77 for our daytime high. But again, we're in good shape through Friday evening. If you have any plans, tracking that severe weather Saturday into Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the 80s and the 70s, and then back up into the 80s toward the end of next week. It is that time of year. Storm season simply just not over yet.
It's a part of the deal. Right. All right, Mike, thank you. And we'll be right back.
Sports is next.
Now, sports with Dylan Buckingham.
Oh, the Web's Thunder VP Troy Weaver is weaving. The Athletic reports that Weaver has interviewed for the Washington Wizards GM job for a second time in 2 weeks. Weaver, who's been with the Thunder since they came to OKC, is originally from Washington, D.C. He's helped coordinate scouting and NBA draft preparation for the Thunder. Meanwhile, Billy Donovan's name continues to be linked to the Michigan opening. However, ESPN's Royce Young says that Donovan to Michigan is, quote, pure speculation, and that he doesn't believe that he's an actual candidate. Vegas continues to consider Donovan a favorite to land in Ann Arbor. No KD, no problem for the Warriors. Durant will reportedly miss Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals against Portland on Thursday with his calf strain. He will be reevaluated then, and a clear timetable should be established. Golden State hasn't missed Durant much since his injury, going 2-0. There's a first time for everything. Ricky Fowler is hoping for a first-time major win come this weekend at Bethpage Black in New York. Fowler isn't sure how low the scores will be, but he thinks the golf course is setting up very well for a great weekend.
No, I really have no idea. It's gonna depend on, I think, how much the course can dry out. You know, with soft conditions as it is right now, I mean, the greens are rolling nice. They're receptive. Hitting the fairway, I feel like you can go around here and, you know, shoot a few under par if you're driving it well.
OU and OSU are saying woo pig suey. Both have punched their tickets to Fayetteville to compete for a national championship starting May 24th. You'll see why coming up tonight at 6. Plus, we'll hear from OSU and Baker Mayfield with much more then. We're back with more right after this.
We have been talking about this incident all day, and there's a reason why. Check out that dramatic video as 2 workers held on for their lives, all as the window washing basket they were riding in swang out of control. At 6, we're going to hear from some firefighters who had the very dangerous task of trying to get up there and to rescue those 2 guys. We're going to tell you how it all ended.
Gosh, can you imagine? Also at 6, critical concerns about who will become the next president of OU. As you know, Jim Gallagly is stepping down after less than a year on the job. Why some now want to be part of the process to hire the next president, and those include students.
And also, there is some severe weather possibly headed our way. Mike is tracking a few rounds of that severe weather happening later this week and well into the weekend. We're going to have your updated forecast. Have a good night.
Good night.